Hey viewers, this is E36 Fanatics. I am replacing the door handle assembly on this car. So of course basically you got an inner door handle and an exterior door handle. I have already removed the door panel. It's pretty simple. I actually do it in another video as well, so I'll probably just tag that in there. Unfortunately, well, there's a lot of misleading information on the internet about removing the door handle assembly. The Beamer book actually calls for you to remove the entire window. You don't actually have to do that. You do, however, unfortunately have to unhook it, and it's a lot of work. It's a pain in the you-know-what. So first thing, once I got this door panel off, you have to go ahead and mess with the window because you need clearance to actually get access to the door handle assembly up in there. So first things first, this right here. This is like the slide bar that the window actually goes up and down on. I forgot its actual name. There are 6 bolts that you need to remove. 2 at the top right here, 2 in the middle right here, 2 at the very bottom. Now I will go ahead and remind you that there are a few bolts like this that actually go into the window. Never mess with bolts that are going through glass. Don't mess with them. So once we've got this out, then we're gonna go ahead and play with these sliders. You need to remove the plastic slider side of this to get the white slider out. So you need to remove this metal pin right here to remove the white slider in here. Once you do, it might be a really good idea to go ahead and replace those white sliders, or really grease up this area where it pivots on, because that is a big when these windows stop working, a lot of the times there'll be these sliders have gotten torn up. So that's just a reminder. So you got to do it for that one, and for the middle one. So like I said, these 2 top bolts right here need to come out, and it is a 10 millimeter. Okay, so at this point I have pulled the slide rail, I think that's what it's called, the rear one on the door. Here you can see the space that's created, and it's giving me more room. So now I'm about halfway done with unattaching the window, and try and keep everything organized too. The trim piece on the door assembly, this outer trim piece right here isn't part of the door handle assembly. It's an outer piece, and it's actually latched on the inside. There is a slider that you have to press in to get it out, if it's already broken, because the plastic tabs tend to break over time, then you don't need to worry about it until you reinstall. But if you want to keep that outer door trim, then you need to mess with this slider. So what I'm actually using is this car was rigged up really bad by the previous owner. So I actually found this on the ground in the bottom of the door assembly, so I'm actually going to just use that. So you need something like slim and with a curve at the very end, to catch the slider. There's a really cool video on YouTube that actually really that you can really see it with. But here, I'll show you the slider in here. The piece at the very top with the white bits on it, that's what you have to press in to get that door handle off. So you just press it in, and the door handle will pop right out. You might have to give it a little bit of play, but it'll pop out. You're going to want it to pull out the clips out of the window regulator to go ahead and get you see the white slider. You want to get that out, and you see on this car that there's really no grease or anything left on these rails. I'm gonna change that, and I'm gonna replace these white sliders because I'm sure they're old. You're gonna want to take a pick or some other tool, some other little tool to pull this clip out. I actually just used a screwdriver and pulled it on the end. So go ahead and pull that one, and then pull it, pop it out of the regulator. So anyways, as you can see here, take a screwdriver, pop it out. It'll pop right out. That's how you get that, and then you can slide the white piece right out. Just for reference, I'll go ahead and show you why I go ahead and buy extra parts for stuff like this. Here is the old white sliding pivot that I just pulled off to do this job. Here's the old pin. Take a look at that. I didn't damage this at all, actually. It was already like this. Guess it was just pivoting basically the bottom here, and then this little top piece that was left. The rest of this had already cracked off. Alright, so here's the second one that you need to get out. Here's the little clip. Just take a screwdriver and pull it back, pop out the regulator. Now, so once you've got that last regulator clip out, the window is going to be virtually free floating, so you got to have something to hold it. In this case, I've found a PVC pipe and a piece of plastic that I'm using to hold it. So you're going to want to raise the window as far back and tilt it as far back as you can in the rear. Once you've gotten that done, you're going to want to have either a third hand, if you're lucky and you got a second person to help you, hold it in the back. Once you got that, a reminder, try and put the window regulator, get it as low as possible. You can still use it, so if you want to lower it as low as possible, that'll help with getting more room to work. So, and then at this point you can get a better view of the door handle assembly. So normally you have a little pin on the front here, a retaining pin that holds this in, that you got to push out of the back or unclip from the back and then push it back to get it out. Once you're at this point, you have this key lock right here that goes around the lock that you have to turn out. It's really pressed in there, so I take a screwdriver, and you may need a hammer as well. You just need to be careful so you don't scratch the paint or anything. Here is the key that goes on it, just like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and, this is basically, as you can tell, it's basically free floating at this point. You just gotta push it back out and work with it on the back to get it out. Then you'll be done removing the door handle assembly.